Our setup for fishing on Passage is pretty simple. We use 2 rods and reels, a flatline teaser, and a gaff. The rods and reels are both Penn International 80s, and they're both spooled with 800 yards of 130-pound test line. The line is 600 yards of Dacron backer and 200 yards of monofilament top shot. This makes it easier to replace just the 200 yards of monofilament top shot as the sun degrades it over time, and you don't have to replace all of the line. For the gaff, we keep a gaff rigged on the stern, and it's just a basic 6-foot aluminum gaff that's always ready to use. And we run various lures of different sizes. The lures are all usually 8 to 12 inches in length, and they're all rigged on 200-pound monofilament leaders that are 20 feet long. We also used galvanized treble hooks. The treble hooks really increase your catch rate and prevent pulling a lot of fish off. For the teaser, what we use is 3 lures, and the lures are all rigged in series on a 20-foot monofilament leader. And I pulled it in close so that you can just see the 3 lures together. And that just basically drags behind the boat about 50 to 60 feet. We rig it up to a piece of parachute cord and a swivel. And as you can see, the lures are just designed to skip across the surface and create a lot of action, which draws the fish up from down deep. Both of the lines run out the stern. We keep one off the starboard side and one off the port side. And we'll run one of the lines 60 to 70 yards back, depending on the wave action. You always want it to be pulling through the waves and not jumping out. And then the other one will run probably 20 yards back behind the teaser. Setting up the reels. The rods and reels both have 130-pound test line, and we set the drags at about 30 pounds. And when we're fishing, we back the drags off about halfway so that you can actually take and pull the line off by hand. And you'll hear that we have the clicker turned on, so when a fish strikes, you can hear from down below that a fish is on. And then once you come up and go to reel them in, then you push the drag all the way up to about 30 pounds. We also have parachute cords rigged on both of the stern cleats, and these are both 6 foot long. And we'll use these when we bring the fish aboard to tie them down. As soon as we get the fish on board, you tie one line around his tail and then put the other line in through his mouth and out of his gill and stretch it tight on the deck, and that keeps him from flopping around and making a big mess, as well as a chance of losing him. The other thing you want to remember to do before you bring a fish on board is to wet down the decks thoroughly. Wetting down the decks prevents blood stains and makes it much easier to clean up after you've filleted a fish.